Hello and welcome to the Growing Healthy Families podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Scott Haggerty. On this show, I interview the world's top health experts so that you can know with certainty what it takes to give your family a life of epic health and wellness.
As parents, we don't want to see our kids struggle. I knew that he had the potential. I knew that something needed to be done.
It was hard. We would get frustrated. We didn't know how to deal with it. I was more emotional about it.
Sure that, we're here. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Hello, moms and dads. Welcome to the Growing Healthy Families podcast. In this episode, I am so excited to be here. We are in a really amazing environment. So we are at Catalyst Farm with our amazing owner, Jillian, to learn all about what they do here. So Jillian, first, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you for coming, spreading the word.
Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure. For the moms and dads who've never seen farm-based therapy, you guys are in for a treat. So my staff, we all came out here and we did a field trip. And this amazing lady gave us a tour, so we wanted to make sure that moms and dads who live near this facility or near a farm-based therapy setting, you have to check it out. It's so incredibly unique. So Jillian, let's just dive right in. So first, for the moms and dads who never heard of farm-based therapy, who don't know anything about this, why don't you tell everybody about what farm-based therapy is and how you got this all started?
Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but I may have coined the phrase farm-based therapy. I had not heard it before. Certainly there may be people using it, but it was the best way I could explain what my vision was, which was to use the farm setting and the animals in a therapeutic way to enhance the therapy sessions. So we use the animals and also the facility itself, the grounds, the barn, the equipment, in order to make a motivating experience for the patients.
When we were first introduced to Catalyst, one of the things that was really cool is there was a mom who was just raving about what you were doing here. And her little girl was coming here for a number of different services. And she said that she'd had other clinical experiences where her daughter really wouldn't respond. And so she came out here and she said it was an entirely different experience and she became motivated.
Yeah.
So is that something you commonly see with kids that come out here?
Yes, for sure. I often tell people we have kids who cry when it's time to leave rather than cry when it's time to go to therapy, which speaks volumes for the motivation that they feel being here. I myself have seen kids who I saw in the schools and then saw here, and the difference in their willingness to participate in activities was 100% different, because they feel like they're doing something functional instead of something rote. And the more meaningful it is, the more engaged they are and the better results you're going to get.
Absolutely, and the motivation factor is so huge in success in any type of a therapy setting, but when kids can come in and they can see how what they are learning can be applied, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have a little girl who we've referred over because we just so love what they do, and her mom comes in every time and says she just loves coming to therapy.
I love that.
And it's the coolest thing in the world, because how often do you hear that from a child going to do something to work on something that's been a deficit, right, that she's trying to improve upon, and her mom says she's making tremendous progress, but that she loves to be here.
Yeah. Yep. That's the goal.
So within the therapy setting, you have a wide range of services that you offer. What type of therapies do you provide here on site?
Occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and counseling.
Okay. And do you have a certain age range that you see?
For OTPT and speech, we see preschool age through early adulthood, and counseling, they see all ages, including through adulthood. They also do family counseling, marriage counseling, all that sort of thing.
Oh, very cool. And so what are some of the common conditions that you work with here that moms and dads may be familiar with?
Definitely we see a lot of ADHD and autism, Down syndrome, generalized developmental delays. Those are the big ones for OTPT speech. And then counseling, we see a lot of anxiety, depression, substance abuse, those sorts of things.
That's great. So you're really offering a lot of different services to help every type of area that the family could be struggling.
Yes.
How incredible is that to have this type of a service within this community?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think it's great because there's such a need to be able to go and have facilities where it's non-threatening.
Yeah.
And people can come and they can see immediate value and take and have the things they're learning in the therapy setting they can apply in real life, both in tangible services like what they can do here on the farm, but also things they can bring back home.
Yeah, and the non-threatening thing is really key, especially when it comes to counseling. Some patients, they just feel more comfortable kind of opening up to an animal than to a person, and so it can really draw out their ability to communicate how they're feeling. Or sometimes you can see the animal behaving in a way or feeling the kind of way, and you can relate to that and think, okay, I can use that to my benefit to work through what I'm going through.
I think it's amazing that you said that too, because therapy animals have become so popular in today's culture. But when they can come into a setting like this, and they can have a wide variety of animals too, they can work with. I mean, obviously you have a full farm here. What type of animals do you have on the farm, or what type of animals do you utilize here in the therapy setting?
We have horses, goats, pigs, sheep, chickens, a tortoise, cats. We have dogs, but they get too excited when they get invited into a therapy session, and then they're just too distracting. So they usually stay clear. But all of them are brought here to incorporate some sort of different experience. So whether it be a sensory experience or the way they behave or interact. So I really try to be intentional with what kind of animals we bring in, so that we can kind of hit every area that someone's looking for.
So when you talk about animals, right, every person has their favorites. Have you noticed there are any that the kids really take a liking to?
The chickens.
The chickens?
And it cracks me up, because I think everyone thinks they're coming here to see horses. They want their kid to be with horses, maybe ride a horse. And the kids almost always want to go back to what we call the petting zoo, which is the chickens, goats, and sheep, and pigs. And they love the chickens. And the chickens don't always love them back. They tend to run a little bit, which gets that gross motor going. They gotta chase those chickens. But yeah, they collect the eggs. They will pick them up and hold them. Sometimes they'll help me clip the wings. We kind of just use them any way we can.
I'm pretty sure that I think the overwhelming favorites were the pigs when we were here.
Yeah,
because
they're my favorite.
I'm pretty sure that my staff would have taken them home had you allowed.
Yeah, yeah, they're very sweet. Most of the animals here have been raised by me from babies to make sure they were properly socialized. We've got a couple that were recently donated to us that have fit in perfectly, but so they're all very social and they love attention.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So you do something here that I think is really cool and very unique, but is really gaining a lot of steam in therapy settings with hippotherapy.
Yeah.
So for moms and dads who've never heard of this before, would you mind explaining what it is and how it's used?
Sure. So hippotherapy, hippo comes from the Greek word for horse, and it's OT, PT, or speech on horseback. Hippotherapy can only be done by an OT, PT, or a speech therapist. We're never teaching horsemanship skills. It's not a riding lesson. Usually we don't even use a saddle unless we want to try to get some weight bearing into the feet, and then we might use a saddle for the stirrups. But we're trying to get them as close to the horse's body as possible, because the movement of the horse produces the most similar movement in the human pelvis to the human gait. So it helps with muscle memory. It works on increasing tone, decreasing tone, posture, crossing midline. I mean, we can work on everything that we do in the clinic, but on a horse, and the movement of the horse helps to just bring it all together and increase the benefit. So a lot of times people think they're coming to actually learn to ride a horse, but it's not. They're not learning how. It's just used as a tool in the therapy.
It's really interesting, because when you start thinking about the concepts, right? So you're trying to stimulate proprioceptive input to the brain. And moms and dads, obviously, we all know that proprioception is important, but how cool is it that you can have the movement of an animal that can help to go and drive that stimulation to come in, and how calming it is, and how by having that gentle motion, you can start seeing changes in the way that a child's body, their tone, their energy, focus, attention, and a million other things just from doing something like riding a horse. How cool is that?
For sure, yeah, we love it.
Such an amazing thing. So, with farm-based therapy being something that a lot of people may not be familiar with, is it for everyone?
It's not for everyone. I mean, we just had a patient who had to stop coming because her allergies were too bad. So there is that. So even if you feel like it's something that sounds like it's for you, if it makes you sick, then it's not for you. And then, of course, people who are scared of the animals. For hippotherapy, there are contraindications medically that may not make it safe, and we always have the physician fill out a form to make sure that we're not putting anyone on there that's not appropriate. But the vast majority of what we do is actually not on the horse. A small portion of our practice is hippotherapy, and the rest is farm-based. And so most people can benefit from that.
That's awesome. So when you talk about engagement, right, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, right, in a clinical setting, in more of the traditional therapy settings, you tend to find, like we talked about, that some kids they'll disengage. So when you bring kids into this setting, how different is it in your clinical experience from what you saw in the traditional settings versus bringing them out here to the farm?
Most times they don't even realize that they're necessarily working on therapy goals. We've actually also had parents occasionally reach out at the beginning of, like when they first start coming, and saying, well, I didn't see them doing any therapy. And we have to say, well, no, everything we're doing is therapy. We're using all of these fun activities as a way to sneak into therapy. So it might not look like it's therapy to the untrained eye, but we're able to work on the same skills as we could at a table, but in an environment where the children are having fun, and not just children, because we do see adults as well, but it's just, there's the roteness that you feel from going to, some clinics, and here they're able to do something more meaningful. Even if it's chores around the farm, they know that those chores are helping the animals that they care for, and they want to help them. So it's just, just highly motivating.
That's amazing. So, this is something that it's really uncommon, but it's something that is your passion.
Yes.
So I would love if you could share with everyone how this passion for you developed and where this came from, so that the moms and dads who are wanting to really know more about Catalyst Farm can understand what your heart is for the community.
I've always been drawn to farm all animals. I'm like, I can't walk down the street without attacking every dog I see. So for me, animals are very therapeutic. I've just always felt that with them, and it was something I always wanted to do. I learned about hippotherapy when I was in college and thought, I'd like to pursue that. I had the opportunity to work with an OT who had hippotherapy in Medina for a while, and she has since moved out of state, but I always knew that it was something I wanted to go back to. And one day happened to be driving by this farm and found it for sale, and called my husband and said, what do you think? So we decided to, go at it. And we spent the first few years, we had horse boarding here, just learning the ropes of how to run the barn, properly take care of the animals, so that we knew what we were doing before we even started the practice. And then I just, for me, at the end of a stressful day, there's nothing that helps me more than coming down here and being with them. They accept you for who you are. They can sense your feelings and respond to that. And it's like my least stressful environment in my life is the barn.
How amazing is that?
Thank you.
So you obviously have had a lot of parents and a lot of kids that have come through at this point. When the moms and dads see the way that their children perform in the setting, what kind of feedback do you get from them about what they're seeing and what their experience has been?
We get a lot of, I didn't think my child would be able to do this, and now they are. Just like I had said before, just that they are excited to come. They weren't expecting that. It's a more positive experience for the whole family when the patient wants to come and participate. It's just decreases the stress for everyone involved, because you don't want to feel like you're dragging your kids somewhere to do something that they don't want to do.
Amen.
And so it's just, to know that we're kind of helping give them hope that their child is going to be able to make the progress that they were hoping for, is just, my complete goal. So that's been great feedback from them.
That's amazing. And honestly, that was part of my motivation in setting this up, because, when I have the conversations with a lot of the moms and dads that have been down a number of different therapy settings, there can be a lot of resistance from the kids. If they don't want to go, then it becomes a battle.
Right.
And if you can put them in a setting like this where they come in and they see it as something that they get to benefit from, that they enjoy, then the success on both sides, right? The the engagement in what they're going to do here, but also it makes moms and dads' life much easier because now they're not fighting to bring their children every time, which I think is just absolutely critical to their success.
Yes, I agree.
So when we talk about, you've got some longevity now, a number of years with seeing kids. We all have our favorite success stories.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite success story that you've seen since you've opened the practice?
This one actually comes from our haircutting clinics. So we started the clinics because somebody that I know, her son has autism, and she had voiced a concern about how difficult it was for him to get haircuts. They were having to fight them. Boys especially are really hard if they're sensory sensitive. And so we find that a lot of parents are like kind of tackling their kids to the ground, shaving their head so that they don't have to go through it as often, and it's just a traumatic experience for the child and the family, and everyone dreads it. So we started, based on their concern and wanting to help out, we started these clinics. And that child, who was the motivation for starting it, actually didn't come to the last one because he now is able to go to the salon and get his haircut without a problem. So our OT staff was there showing strategies, helping decrease stress, just helping. We take baby steps, so it's meeting the child where they are and helping them overcome that fear and figuring out strategies to help them get through that. And through those strategies, he was able to, do so well that he doesn't even need it anymore.
How amazing is that? And quality of life, right? Like for the child, for mom and dad, that is a huge, huge, huge quality of life change to be able to go and do something as, as simple as a haircut. But my goodness, we've had this conversation with a number of families where, haircuts are just all out battles.
Right.
And to achieve the success of getting a haircut, moms and dads, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, when can I get an appointment? Because how cool would that be to be able to start doing therapy to go and help your child be able to get a haircut?
Yeah.
It's a huge win.
Yeah, and it's something that not everyone realizes is a problem unless you have a child that struggles with that. And figuring out why it is they're having a problem. Is it because they don't like the pressure, they don't like the sound, they don't like the vibration? Figuring out what it is, and that's where the therapists really come in and help figure that out and work with the strategies. So that was awesome when that happened.
That's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So obviously, with us being in Ohio, so we are subject to climate.
Yeah.
So are you open rain, shine, summer, winter, fall, spring?
Yes, year round. We have indoor heated treatment spaces, so we're able to utilize those as you would in any clinic space, but then able to come out to the barn as much as weather allows or the patient tolerates. The barn is heated in the winter to about 40 degrees, so it's not super warm, but it's enough to take the edge off. We've had kids come with snow boots and snow pants, and they're expecting to go run around the farm no matter what the weather is, so they have fun no matter what. So yeah, we've got a comfortable waiting room for families where they can sit in there, and we can still do, whether it's raining or snowing or hot or cold, we can do therapy around it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that a lot of the moms and dads that are going to be watching this are going to be sitting here thinking, I need to find out about this. I need to get in contact with you. So what would be the best ways if a mom and dad is looking to get more information about coming to Catalyst Farm? How would they contact you, whether it's online, website, social media?
All of our information is on our website, which is catalystfarm.com. And the best way usually is to email info@catalystfarm.com. I'm usually in and out of the barn throughout the day, so I'm not always at my computer or able to answer the phone. So I sometimes may respond to emails and things late at night when people don't want to get a phone call from me. So sometimes that's the best way, but certainly people are welcome to call. I do post a lot of things on our Facebook page as well. We're about to start a free parent speaker series each month, where we'll have the different disciplines come in and talk about different topics for parents to be able to come in and just learn more. And those will be all as events on our Facebook page.
Oh, awesome. And is it facebook.com/Catalyst Farm?
Yep.
Awesome. So moms and dads, obviously you've got some action steps now. So if you've heard some things here that have motivated you to say that you need to go and learn more, make sure that you go to catalystfarm.com or facebook.com/catalystfarm to go and learn more. Or you can also contact her at info@catalystfarm.com. So, Jillian, I thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you so much. This was great.
This was. And we'll have to have you back on here so we can start digging into some different aspects of the amazing service that you have here to offer.
I'd love to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Moms and dads, thank you so much for being here for this episode today. So if this episode was valuable for you, then make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like it, make sure that you share it, because the whole point of us doing all of these episodes is to make sure that we're giving you moms and dads the resources that you need so that your family can live a life of epic health and wellness. God bless you all. See you on the next episode, and be elite. Thank you for listening to the Growing Healthy Families podcast, the world's #1 source for health education. Make sure to go to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a review. Make sure to follow us on social media at the links listed in the show notes, and let us know what area of health you are struggling with, so we can get you and your family on the road to epic health.